Hey, how's it going? Today is 5th of January, and we're taking a look at what kind of opportunities are available within the market. Within a number of videos, I have touched on CPU computers, right? This one that I was taking a look at, and opportunities. I have covered a number of those. I did setup kind of thing where I was with the first video where I was taking a look at the business. I have taken a problem, I have taken a team, and I potentially put the thing together with how to offer solutions to that particular problem, right? From there, I have progressed and covering a number of those computers. I have tried to do from different angles, as well as how to solve a problem and how to engage with a team, right? Since you yourself, you're not necessarily directly be able to approach it, you might need to reach out to people who partially or entirely funded, and those people were funded most likely by taxpayers. So again, you need to jump over a number of hoops in order to have access to some of those computers, right? And someone keeps shouting off the rooftops that there's a risk involved. So it's just making things harder, I guess. If there was hard, if things there wasn't hard enough, things are just getting harder and harder as we go along. But I think I have covered from different angles, as well as I have offered so much information, right? So I thought how I could do this video kind of differently, right? Let's begin by taking a look at perhaps there would be about roughly about 9 computers. And within this video, I'm going to be taking a look at one that would be within VAR. We can something the computer name or high performance computer that would be Sulis. That's the name of the computer. Let's try to understand this computer. I'll try to take a different angle on this one. Sulis is new state-of-the-art 3 million supercomputer which provides researchers with a higher capability system to run higher throughput calculations. It's the first machine in its kind in the UK to offer a focus on enhanced enable computing workflow addressing unmet needs in the research and innovation sector. So this computer. So where we're taking a look at the budget, right? Let's touch on that and perhaps progress from there. So this computer, the budget that they had was £3 million, right? From there, let's progress and take a look at a different article that would be new 30 million supercomputer center at Dar Daresbury Laboratory. I think that's the name of the place. And so basically, if anything, there's a new one. So that I will come back to that one just in a second. So that was let's how we can measure it, right? So there was a number of computers that I have covered. That would be in tens or so to say millions, right? So I have covered a number of those. So we're progressing in 30 million, right? Which is great. So let's take a look perhaps of what the entire budget is like. I think I have taken a look at that previously. So this particular, I don't know, it's currently been built. It's been haven't been built yet. If nothing, there might be some metrics that are there, but either way, let's progress. So let's take a look at UK's budget when it comes to expenditure and where UK is looking to expend a lot of its capital. Myself coming into this, I would like to understand a little bit better entire budget, right? So I have touched briefly on some of those budgets. Some of those computers out there, I think those computers function completely differently compared to different computers and how they would function. So there would be CPUs, from how I understand it, right, processing power, as well as generative AI. So perhaps some of those computers would function completely different, by the way. So there's different systems there, perhaps worth mentioning. So there's different types of systems, again, depending on what kind of problem yourself you would be interested in solving, right? As well as plans for ARRR were announced in March, backed by 900 million investment to transform UK's computing capacity and establish a dedicated AI research resource, right? So I think what they refer to it would be AI or perhaps even generative AI because those potential computers would function completely differently, right? I don't know what's good, I don't know what's bad, but sums of money that we are talking about, so it's perhaps I thought I will come back to you taking a look at this computer available, right? But just something perhaps worth covering or taking a look at. That would be other governments up there, right? And how other governments were functioning, right? With different projects. Let's take a look at different projects since the budgets were close to billions already. So it's a massive projects, right? Since let's progress into perhaps what's happening within China, then they had to pay this sums of money, right? How China developed its first large domestic airline to take on Boeing and Airbus. So it's something that was highlighted, right? So if because it's massive projects and it was so much investment made within some of those airlines, right? Some of that was funded by the taxpayers, by the way. So that's where things are. I think they have sold a lot of hardware, right? So I think that's what happened to different governments, including China. So after they have sold it, let's touch on perhaps something that was highlighted within this article. If you want to sell stuff to 1.3 billion people in China, or a large market, right? That potentially, so to say, on the very tight control, right? So if you would like to enter this market, perhaps there's a different agreements, different contractual agreements out there. I don't know what would be required to enter some of those markets, but it's large markets, right? You are gonna have to give us blueprints of your goods, or you are gonna have to go into a joint venture with us, where you are going to train our engineers in how to Potter explain a Chinese strategy. This is what we call forced technology transfer. Okay. So basically, because I think that at first, I think what happened, they have sold it. Well, I don't know all the details, right? This is what I have seen in the news, right? There's only on some of those documentaries, I guess. This is the process, right? I think because that was a part of the process, so that's where I guess where things are. Because of the sums of money, we're talking about massive sums of money and perhaps decades of try and error and working on the best way or solutions and how to build some of those projects. So I guess I don't know how to feel about it, but this is what's happening. I was just saying, if I was to enter some of those markets where I would begin building some of those computers, right? It might be very hard. Big boys might give me a hard time before even entering the market. So that's a business world, right? And we from there we're progressing together with duopoly. That is Airbus and Boeing have dominated the skies for decades. Airbus, I think that you would be UK, and Boeing potentially that would be US company, right? But they have a number of subsidiaries and everything. But perhaps that's how I see things, right? Have dominated the skies for decades, cornering the planet manufacturing markets globally. While those Western-based companies have maintained their hold on the industry, China, which has never been able to manufacture anything like, there's a project name, is seeking to change that. And to do so, U.S. national security experts point to combination of economic pressures and espionage. So I don't know all the details. I don't know what's happening, but what I'm saying is very hard. So if I would like to do it, so I would like to build some of those planes right myself. It would be a very hard thing to do it just because of how many people are doing it within different parts of different places in the world, right? Yourself, if you're interested in learning more, I have published a book, Project Fitful. Within this book, I'm taking a look at this hardware that we all carrying around, that really bodies, and how you can potentially make sure that you would work and develop your body and live a healthier lifestyle. That would be what would be requirements coming into with the new adventure entering new year, right? So recovery time, nutrition, and working out three different areas that will be very important. Making sure that you can succeed in venturing in the world of fitness. Within this book, I'm taking a look at progression, where to begin, how to progress, where to start, making sure that you have enough nutrition, all the basics I'm covering within this book. You can find it, QR code in the corner, company's website below. With price tags of 900 million, perhaps there's I don't know. Myself, I think I can bill it better. Well, I'm interested in the size of the contracts, right? And what were the requirements of solving this kind of size of problems, right? If anything. Yeah, let's close everything perhaps on the process of how anyone can engage or have access to of using some of those hardware and some of those platforms, right? I would share application process. I'll try to reach out to your team as well as how I can potentially work together and what would the process like, right? If some of the teams would make that process a lot harder than it has to do, be the process within itself, or it would be just filing a paperwork, and or it would be they would be interested in only if your project would cover some of those areas. So you would need to find a person, you need to undergo additional training. So it's depending on the project, right? So I have covered a number of those as well as I have taken a look at some of those processes, right? If anything, I'm always interested in, if I can, instead of filling in any of that paperwork, instead of perhaps my tax money being allocated to some of those projects, how I can build my own project. That's why I'm interested. I always think into that to myself. So I would not need to file anything. I don't need to take part in any of the summits or anything. I'm just poking a little fun, right? So if I had my own system, I don't need to go anyone, ask for permission, then the person not answering phone calls or emails, waste of everyone's time. If I can, how I can have access to my own, and from there I can progress, right? So there's no middle person involvement, right? Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.